So I've gotten a few calls in the last couple of weeks about the best way to take a signature from a piece of paper, import it in digitally, and make it so that it's scalable and resizable without losing quality. Lots of people start using Photoshop and adjusting levels and adding layers and using the lasso tool, and it can be done that way, but that's really not the most effective or the fastest way to go about doing or getting your signature into a digital format. So what I'm going to show you today is a tool in Adobe Illustrator called Live Trace. You might already be familiar with it, but if not, this is a great tutorial and it'll help speed up your workflow when you're trying to get signatures onto a piece of advertising or anything really that you want printed. So what we're going to do first is you need to take a piece of blank white copy paper like I did in this tutorial and sign your name on it. For this demonstration, I just signed John Smith's name. And then I took it over to our copier here in the office, which has scanning capabilities, and just scanned it in at the highest resolution possible. So once I did that, I got this file that looked like this. And you'll notice that it's got some dust and scratching from where this copier just brought all those little pieces in, those little trash pieces. And you'll also notice that the signature kind of tails off and gets lighter in some areas. But all that can be fixed in Illustrator using the Live Trace tool, so there's no need to open this file up in Photoshop and remove those or darken it up or do anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the signature.pdf, which is what my signature was named from the copier, and open it up in Adobe Illustrator. And so you'll notice here that it's turned around the right way and it's still got all those little pieces of trash that were imported in. So really all we have to do is just a few simple steps here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to use the direct select tool, which is the little white arrow right here. And we're going to select the name. And then once we select it, you'll notice a little button here called Live Trace appear. And we could click on the Live Trace and use the default settings, but that's really not the best way to go about doing it. What we're going to do is we're going to click on the box next to the Live Trace button that has the drop down arrow and go to Tracing Options. Now you'll probably get a warning that looks something like this. It says that your image is too large, it's going to be slow, but usually on just a little black and white signature, that's not a big issue. So go ahead and click OK. And that'll open up the Tracing Options dialog box. And here we have lots of different things that we can adjust and fix to make things look better. And if we were doing something other than a signature, we might want to adjust these settings. The only thing that we're going to be concerned about for this tutorial is this little box right here that says ignore white. So we'll go ahead and ignore the white and then click on trace. And so really when we told it to ignore white, what it's doing is these little fills inside the loops or where letters touch like on the T and H, those won't be converted to paths or fills. Those will just be ignored. So we don't have to go back in and delete those out once we're done. So now that we've got that, we need to click on the expand button, which is at the very top, and that'll actually convert our artwork into vector art, or our signature into vector art. So you'll see here that everything has anchor points and it's now vector based, including these little trash spots that we need to get rid of. You'll also notice that when we did the live trace, it darkened everything up and got rid of some of those tailing off issues that we had on that original PDF I showed you. So now that we've got that, we can either ungroup everything and go in and select these little trash marks, or we can just again use the direct select tool and go in and just select those little pieces. And once we've done that, let's go ahead and switch back to the selection tool, which is just the standard or the default tool that opens in Adobe Illustrator with the little black arrow. And let's select it. Now you'll notice that there's a clipping mask or clipping box around it, and we need to get rid of that. So the only thing we have to do to get rid of that is just come over to our layers tool, find the clipping mask, and make sure it's the only one selected, and then click on delete. So once we've done that, now we can still use the regular selection tool, and you'll notice everything is in a group and there's no stray points or trash marks or anything left. It's just the signature itself. So from here I could change colors, resize, rescale, but I'm going to go ahead and take this signature into a piece of artwork that I'm working on and place it in and just copy and paste it in and move it where I want to, make it a little bit bigger. I don't really like it on the black coloring of it, so I'm going to change that to white. And then just so I can show you that you can do different effects with this, I'm going to go ahead and add just a drop shadow to it. So now you'll see I've got my artwork with the signature on it. Changed the art or the signature to white and added a drop shadow. You can do any number of things to this. Again, it's completely editable. It's resizable without losing quality. So you can make it whatever size, big or small you want. Add any kind of effects. You can transform it. Really, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. So there's a really fast and simple way to get a signature into a digital format that you can use on any size piece.